Okay, is it rolling? Yeah, it's going. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday, and that means it is time for Miss Anime Seasonal Podcast, the weekly podcast where I go over all the stuff I'm watching during the season, what's good, what's bad, what I like, what openings things work, what don't. You know, there's not a lot to go on yet, and I probably need a co-host, but that's gonna come later. There are only 1, 2, 3, 5 things right now, so this one's gonna be kind of... I debated whether or not to just wait until everything was out, but then no, this is gonna be a weekly podcast, and this way I don't necessarily have to pull out the bag immediately. So, starting with the new stuff that has already come out, we have 3 shows so far, or at least 3 shows that I've watched, because honestly, the Teppen I have no vested interest in. A comedy about comedy, that's not gonna work, and I don't know anything about manzai comedy, so I probably wouldn't get it. But anyway, in terms of shows that I've actually been watching, there are 3. The first of which is Engage Kiss, which I don't get. It doesn't make any sense to me. I like some of its ideas. I like the idea of, first of all, the monster designs are really cool. I like the idea of these demons that, hang on, let me see if I can pull up the description. There's a floating mega city, entity, which was created from the discovery of new resources. So basically, the young man in question runs his own business, and he runs the business. Actually, it doesn't really explain yet what his business actually does, but I'm assuming he hunts down these demons, and he works with his ex-girlfriend and a demon he formed a contract with, who can only get power through kissing him, which I think is very weird. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, that sounds like a really cool action show. You know, he has to hunt down these demons, and you know, he has to balance between his working with his ex and you know, this girl who he's currently, I don't know if he's sleeping with her or she just lives with him. But here's the weird thing, and I can't make this up. This is a romantic comedy. Yes, this show about a demon hunter is a romantic comedy, and it seems totally off from the setting they've placed. It's really weird. And, you know, the first half of the show basically just Kisara, the girl he's made a contract with, and they don't actually tell you this in the show. It's kind of implied by Ayano, the purple-haired girl, that she's a demon, but that's literally in passing. That's the whole plot of the show, but they never actually explicitly say that, which is very strange. So I don't get it. It's kind of intriguing to me because I like the idea of, I do kind of like the idea of a comedy set in a demon action series. So, cause that's something I have not seen before. So maybe it'll work, but I don't know. This seems very weird. Secondly is Lycoris Recoil, an action show which I'm pretty sure is just set up to be Yuri bait. It's literally 90%, the leads are both female, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be what's it called? The one from last year. I just watched it, and it's, the action Shokan Shoujo, version Road. In that the main character is going to be paired with another character, and they're going to start developing feelings for each other. I do like the idea of a show in which these girls are tasked with basically doing whoever needs help. You know, it's basically an odd jobs, but with young ladies, and I think that's interesting. I hope they do something with that, because in the first episode we kind of see that there's this drug running. They're trying to investigate a drug trafficking, and the woman there to help is it's okay. I will admit it's not great. I like the art. I think it's an interesting concept, but I'm worried they're not going to do anything with the odd jobs concept. I'm worried they're going to focus the whole time on this drug business, which if they're able to make it interesting, like I like the dynamic of Chisato or Takina was fired or left because she screwed up an operation, and she's the reserved one. And her partner is much more outgoing and much more bubbly. So it almost feels cliched, because it almost feels like, you got the quiet, reserved one who takes her job seriously, and you got the outgoing, bubbly one who doesn't pay attention, and is very, very energetic and probably will turn out to be a really, really, really strong operative. You got the bar owner, you got his assistant, you got the villain, the bureaucrat. But I'll give this one a couple episodes to see if this works, because I think it has some good ideas. So the last one so far for this week is Kamikuze Idol, or Idol of the, which honestly has the best concept out of all three of the shows I've seen so far. Basically, the concept of this show is that there's this idol duo called, which Sings is a stupid name for an idol group, by the way, but there's this idol group, and the main character just does not want to be an idol. He hates it. He finds it miserable. And one day he's visited by the ghost of an idol who does want to be an idol, and she regrets not being able to fulfill that. So obviously she's going to take over his body, and she's going to use him as a vessel in order to be an idol again. And honestly, the genuine reactions of sheer confusion on the people's faces, he comes out and he's all perky, honestly made me laugh out loud. So funny to see these people like, what the hell? Like, what? Who? And so confused, and they were all so freaked out. It was genuinely hilarious. Especially afterwards, it just led to them all wanting to buy like 10 more times the merch. I think it's supposed to be a commentary on how idols always have to be, plucky and happy, and it's true. It's true. They have very strict standards when it comes to being an idol in Japan. And I don't think a show has ever actually gone into, how hard it can be and how harsh it can be. I think most shows are like, the plucky fun side, but I don't think a show has ever showed the much more gravitas side, because especially in Korea, because I listen to a lot of K-pop, so I know how just awful it can be. And I love K-pop, but I don't necessarily like the idea of people becoming K-idols, because especially since you have such young, the Mach 9 Billy is 16 years old. Like, she's 16. I think they've been younger, but yeah, she's 16, and it's hard enough being an adult in the idol industry and having to deal with all the bull that comes with being an adult idol, but then you have literal minors being pushed into the idol spotlight, and just how toxic and just how harsh it can be. And I don't think people realize how much work goes into that, and I don't think people realize how, because there have been a lot of bullying scandals. There have been people have left. They can't date. They have to keep up a certain public image. They have to always be dolled up. That it's very strict. And I hope this show does, because I wish the show would go into just how severe it can be to be an idol. People have gotten kicked out of being an idol just for being spotted holding hands with someone. It's that it's that hard. It's that, I wouldn't even say hard is the issue. I would say strict. I would say culturally toxic. And I do think it needs to change, because I think idols deserve to have lives, and I think the scrutiny they're put under is just, it's just really, really hard. And I'm going to say this, I think that's part of what drove Sayaka Kondo to suicide, because partly, at least, because it is, the work culture in Japan on its own is excruciatingly hard. Long hours, toxic crunch, you're under a lot of deadlines, and imagine doing that plus having to keep up a constant facade of being happy and being a representative of a company. It is mind-bogglingly toxic. That, I like the show. I think it's cute. I like the idea. It's genuinely funny. And the only other thing I watched this season, and I actually watched this last week, but I never got to it last week because I decided to wait until I did the first week of the summer run. I watched the first episode of Ice Queendom. It's not Ruby Queendom. It's Ruby Ice Queendom. And it's basically just 3 episodes of Ruby. It's the first 3 episodes of Ruby, like, shoved together with a couple new concepts. I like, it was well animated. I think it did a good job recapping the story. Thank you, Roman is alive in this universe. I thought that was so nice. I was sincerely hoping that since it was an anime, they were just going to take the first 3 volumes of Ruby, because he was genuinely the best thing in that show. And the rest of the show, after season 3, I'm still watching it, but I'm kind of watching it in the back burner. Like, I don't really want to watch it anymore, because after season 3, after they killed their best character, I checked out, because I don't care about any of it. But anyway, it's basically just the first 3 episodes, first volume of Ruby, because that whole thing, basically amounts to 1 volume. I like that I thought it was okay. I like the fact that they condensed the fight with the Nevermore, because that took like 4 episodes, and that was really annoying. I now understand where the chess piece idea came from. I still don't get it contextually, but now I get where it came from. There are a couple things in this show that are new, which I kind of like the visions that Weiss has about the plants. I think she's gonna have to, it's her own inner demons, and I think that's gonna be very interesting. I like the fact that they introduce Adam now, so because we get more of a picture of what Blake had to do. We get more. We get more. It feels like everything is kind of rushed and squashed together, but I think that's mostly so that they can make room for the new stuff, because this isn't necessarily going to be a sequel. I think it's more like, I don't know. It's gonna be. It's Ruby, but they're gonna make changes basically, and I hope they do. I hope that they manage to fix what they fucked up in the series so far, because I'm very checked out of the main series. I'm still watching out of curiosity, and I saw a clip of the season 9. I might not even watch season 9, because I'm so, like, why would you introduce talking animals? Why would you do that? Your series is already stupid enough as it is. Your series is already bad enough. And now you introduce literal talking animals. I liked her reaction. And I liked the fact that it's Lucy Christian, so that gives me some hope. But it's like the mole from Fire Force. That was so dumb. And that just made me not want to watch that show anymore because it's so stupid, and I don't want to watch RWBY anymore. I will watch Ice Queendom because my boy is in it and he is alive and he has not been eaten yet. So that makes me very happy because he is generally the best thing in the show. But the only other thing of note is Summertime Rendering. We have met Heine, I think that's her name, and I get the impression that whatever they're doing with the Shadows is because she's sick. It's because she needs sustenance. So they're killing people because they need to keep her alive. And the Shadows, the ashes, that she devours, give her sustenance. But more importantly, now we get now what's her face, Ushio can jump back with him, so that was interesting because as it tells me that him being able to jump back wasn't a specific him thing, it was a stream thing, it was a time stream thing. So pretty much everyone he puts in the time stream, anyone, not everyone, anyone he drags into the time stream thing with him can go back in time. I did expect, I did expect her to die. So that was not hard for me to understand. I don't entirely get why they're helping this girl, why they're, I know it'll be explained, but, it's clear to me that there's more to this than just Shadows taking over the island, because they mention that they're making that, what's her name? I don't remember her name, but she mentioned that she wanted to make her mother healthy. So I get the impression that people think that these Shadows have the ability to bring either bring people back to life or just cure people's illnesses. And that's, maybe that's why maybe that's why the Shadow, I don't know. I don't know at this point. I'm worried that the show isn't gonna wrap itself up. Like I get wanting a second season, but the show feels like a show that's gonna wrap up in one season. So I'm worried that they won't be able to do that. I'm worried that they're gonna leave too much stuff open, because we haven't gotten any real answers. We've gotten answers. We know who Heine is. Heine, I'm sorry, that name is really dumb. But we know who she is. We know that Ushio can jump with him. And we know that Shiori killed Ushio. But I don't know if we know why. I don't know if they've told us why. So, also, the fact that the Shadows, what was it? They can, I forget how they put it. But it's something, hang on, I'm sorry, I'm just, I'm sorry for the pause, guys. I'm just looking something up, because let me see. So, they didn't. So so basically, the Shadows can bring people back. It makes it more complicated, and it strengthens my theory that maybe the Shunpei we're not seeing now is not the original. Maybe he is I still think that he might be a Shadow, because as he has this ability to travel back in time, but why does he have this ability? We know he has the eye, and we know the eye came from Heine, but where did he get it from? I think maybe he's somehow, because they're all connected to him. Somehow it's all connected to him. And I get the impression that he's not human. Like, I literally have this gut feeling that it's going to end up that he's not human. Either he's made up of shadows, or he is a bunch of shadows, or he is a shadow. But that is it for this week. Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush is still boring as ever, and I cannot think of anything else. So if you guys like this episode, tune in for next week when we'll have more shows coming out. New episode of the Media Pit podcast coming soon. I think I have a review subject. I am going to be introducing more scripted content on Odyssey. I have a new episode of Miss Media's Test Kitchen coming up, and I will see you guys next week.